Happy weekend, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm your host, Mark Curtis. We continue to dissect the fallout from the 2020 primary here in West Virginia, and there was no bigger race than the one we're about to talk to right now. Let me introduce Amy Grady. She is the Republican nominee for the state Senate from District 4, which includes Jackson, Mason, and Putnam counties.
Part of Roane County.
Part of Roane County, yes. Too? Yes. Amy is certainly well known now. You've become a household name in the state as the person who defeated incumbent sitting Senate President Mitch Carmichael, Republican of Jackson County. I mean, there was no bigger race statewide that night, no bigger upset. How'd you do it?
Hard work. I'll just tell you that. I'm the type of person that when somebody tells me I can't do something, I like to prove them wrong. So my husband and I worked really hard to do it. We knew what we needed to do. We knew we needed to start early. We knew Putnam County was key, and we worked really hard.
It's you know, an interesting race because a lot of people were focused on Mitch Carmichael, and I include people in the media like me, watching Mitch Carmichael, a well-known politician in the state, Jim Butler, a longtime delegate, member of the House of Delegates from Mason County. They were kind of like big marquee names. People know who they are, and you're an outsider, and you blow the doors off this thing and you beat them. I mean, you're a school teacher. Was that a big part of this?
It could have had a little bit. I think a lot of Mitch kind of got villainized. So I think that kind of gave it a little bit of a push. But I really tried to reach people on a personal level. So I tried to, when I talked to them, I tried to make sure that I could earn their trust. You know, and I felt like I was really successful at that. And once I earned their trust, they could spread that to their family and their friends. And I really feel like it was more of a, people are tired of politicians, you know, and they wanted somebody they felt like was real.
Yeah, and you work in an industry that's been front and center in state politics the last couple of years. Did you support the teachers' strike? Did you go down and picket with the other teachers at the Capitol?
In 2018, the very first strike I did. We went door to door with the legislators talking to everybody to tell them what our concerns were. And then in 2019, I voted not to walk out because I didn't support the reasons that we were walking out over the omnibus bill, so-called omnibus bill, I think we called it. But so yes, in 2018, I was very, very active in it, and we went and talked to all of our legislators, and we're not happy. I was not happy with what I heard and the experience that I had with the majority of them, and that prompted me to be interested in just doing it myself.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at the teachers, they think they're all Democrats, and they were running against the Republican leadership of the House and the Senate. You're a Republican.
Yes.
Talk about your political philosophy and why you align as a member of the Republican Party.
Well, I consider myself very conservative. A lot of times people have this this belief that all teachers are far left-leaning or liberal, and they're not. There are a lot of conservative Republican teachers who have the same values that I do. You know, I believe in biblical principles. I am completely pro-life. I believe in our Constitution, and I think that our district is very conservative also. A lot of times I'm defending myself about being a Republican to teachers, and I'm defending being a teacher to my party. So it's a never-ending circle.
The legislature tackled a very controversial education issue this year, and that was teaching the Bible as an academic course, not as religious doctrine, but teaching it as an academic course in offering it as an elective. Students wouldn't have to take it in high school.
Right.
Did you support that, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I think it's important. Our nation was built on Christian principles and Christian values, and we are a Christian nation, one nation under God. So I believe that giving students, and as an elective is great, to learn more about the Bible, I think is a fantastic.
But if we're going to study the history of Christianity in that way, why not include other world religions such as Judaism and Muslims as well?
I'm not against having that be an elective either. Okay. You know, I mean, but I do believe that the Bible is important in our nation's history. Yeah. So,
what is the website where people can get information about you and learn more about your positions on issues and so forth?
Well, right now they can look me up on Facebook. It's just Amy Nicole Grady for West Virginia Senate District 4 on Facebook, my Facebook page, and I'm active on there often, and I respond to messages quickly, and it keeps me busy, but it's good.
I bet. As long as we're talking about the Bible, like we were a minute ago, people compare this as a David versus Goliath race. I mean, was this? You were kind of a little-known person against two well-known politicians.
I saw a comment on Facebook that said, "Who the heck is Amy Nicole Grady?" when I won, and I said, "That's exactly right. Who am I? I'm just a regular person. I'm a teacher, a mom who cares about the district and really wants to do well." So, you know, I believe that. It's been wonderful, and it's been great. And you know, I didn't have the amount of money that my opponents did, and that really mattered. I only spent $2,600 to win this seat.
All right.
So
well,
far.
We're going to have your opponent on. You're running against a Democrat race. He's coming up next on the show, so we'll talk to him as well. And they'll probably have you both back in the fall, and as we get closer to Election Day. Congratulations, Amy Brady, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you so much.
More of Inside West Virginia Politics after this break. Stay with us.